Hi, welcome to Biology in a Minute. I'm Miss Feldbush. Today I'm going to be talking about a little bit of basic biochemistry. This is chemistry that you need to know in order to be successful in biology. Most biochemistry is based around the molecule carbon. You're going to learn a lot more about carbon in chemistry, but for now you need to know that it's really common in living organisms and it's able to form 4 bonds with other molecules. You'll often see it connected to hydrogens and oxygens as well. So those are the most common elements in living organisms: carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. There's also an individual video available for each of the organic macromolecules we're going to talk about today, but this is just an overview to give you an idea of what the different options are for biochemistry. The first one is carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are made out of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, as the name suggests, and common examples are sugars and grains. It's actually the same molecule. If it's put together in short rings, it's sugars, and longer rings of the same sugars make up starches or grains. The next organic macromolecule is a lipid, and a lipid is also made out of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, but it's put together into long chains. Depending on the arrangement of those chains, it can be either a liquid or a solid. So examples of lipids would be vegetable oil and butter. Next up on our list of organic macromolecules you need to know and love are proteins. Examples of proteins are steaks, and for the vegetarians there are nuts and beans. Proteins are made up of the same elements, carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, but there's a new element which has been added when we get to proteins, and that's nitrogen. The basic subunit of proteins is an amino acid, and those are put together into chains which can form muscles, thus the steak, but also structural components inside cells, things that make up enzymes and do work. And last on the list, unfortunately not a food this time, are nucleic acids. The reason nucleic acids aren't represented in food is because they're inside the nucleus of every cell. But these are molecules that carry genetic information. So DNA and RNA are our most common examples of nucleic acids, and the easiest way to think about this is just to remember that they're in the nucleus. Here's a nice little chart that summarizes all of the organic macromolecules that you're going to need to know. You'll also find individual videos on carbohydrates, on lipids, on proteins, on nucleic acids, and there's even one on energy storing compounds like ATP. Each of those goes into a little bit more detail, but the gist of what you need to know is what is the monomer subunit, what elements make up that compound, and how those are put together. In addition to that, if you know some specific examples of each, then you should be in pretty good shape for your organic chemistry or your biochemistry. Thanks for tuning in to this edition of Biology in a Minute. I'll see you next time.